Hi, this is Greg. I'd like to welcome you back to my YouTube channel, and this is part 5 of week 4. Okay, this week I've been pretty busy. If you look in front of you, this is the completion of the assembly of the basic set. So what we're looking at here is 62 pieces, 62 floor pieces, 10 doors, and 7 bulkhead type doors. So it's been a pretty long week. There are actually more pieces in the basic set of the Space Corridor project than there were in the total of the Descent Board project. So this will be a pretty quick update. This is just going to be the one video this week. But I just want to show you what the basic set looks like when it's done. And I'm going to get some closer shots of some of the different pieces so you can see them. And then from this point on, I'm going to cast more blocks. I'm up to 36 casts. So I need about 20 more casting sets of the 3 molds, and I'll have enough blocks done for the advanced set. So typically what I've been doing is casting in sets of 18. You know, I'll do 3, 3, and 3, and then I'll do a whole bunch of assembly. And that's what I've been doing this week. So I cast another 18 sets this week. Actually, that's not 3, 3, and 3. I cast 6 times, 6 sets, 3 times during the week. So that gives me 18 sets of blocks. That leaves a day in between to for stuff to dry. And then usually on either Friday night or Saturday I do the assembly work. And the assembly is actually really quick. And we'll talk about that when I show a few of the blocks under a closer look. So give me just a minute. I'll set up so you can see some of these pieces a little bit closer, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. What we're going to do, we're just going to run through some of the different floor sections from the basic set to give you a little bit closer look. And I'll just reference them. You know, this is like going to be a 1x2, so 1 square wide, 2 square deep. And just to give you a look at the 1.5-inch tiles, and then all the edge pieces going around. You'd be surprised how many pieces make up the edging on most of these on floor tiles. You know, as I was casting, I mean, I had huge amounts of that industrial edge mold, and I've used just about everything on there. I think I'm at 34 or 36 casts for the total, for the project total, so I still have more to start on the advanced side right now, but I'm going to run out quick. You know, I'm going to hit one of the big pieces, and those big pieces take anywhere from 12 to 18 industrial edge pieces to go around them, and I'm going to run out real quick. So the rest of this weekend and tonight will be for casting and stuff like that. So, all right. So this is the 1x2 on there, and then we have our little singles. We have 8 of these, and I was going to give you a shot of the couple different doors. This is the standard door, and then this is the bulkhead from the advanced set. So, and I think you have about 8 of these, 7 or 8 of these. We have these 1x1 steps, so it's kind of like a step up, and I think these are going to be where our Space Marines are going to load in from. So we're going to take one of the again, this is from the last video. You saw the 5-section hallway. So we would take this piece right here, and we would load it right down to the end, and then put our Marines on it. Or we could use the 4-station hallway if it's a 5 Marines. So put our Space Marines there. We could put our AT-43 troopers. I've got tons of Red Block and Therian and Carmen, so they could all be running through this also. All right. To get to some of the bigger pieces, this is a 3x3 with 2 exits. This is another 3x3, but this one is a single exit room. And then we have another 3x3, but this has different exit configurations. And as you notice, we're switching up the primary texture on each of these 3x3s. We have some with the diamond plate. We have a mixture of the diamond plate and grate, and then here's the grate, just strictly grate with the diamond plate leading out through the edges. I showed you the 1x5, so these are the 1x4s. We have our T-intersections, and again, this is using the, it's called the XS block on the plans because it has the diamond plate on one square and then your normal grading on the other 3 sections of the tile. So this is your T-intersection. Then we have, this is kind of like a 2x2 with 4 exit. So we got an exit leading off each one of these blocks. So we can, you can dead end it, down here with one of the dead end blocks. And then this is a 3x3 with 4 exit. So about the 3x3 is about the biggest we've done for the basic set pieces on there. There is one exception. There is the 4x3 with 1 exit, and this is the biggest. There's only one of these in this section in the basic set. So there's only one for the basic set. It's a 4x3 with 1 exit. We do make bigger pieces in the advanced set, and those bigger pieces are going to be able to accommodate some of the terrain from the industrial machinery mold that we're going to do also. Let's see. Another 3x3 with 3 exit, and each exit's using that XS block. And just to show you, the doors, I mean, they fit in there perfect. You get right. I mean, they look great because I set up a real small mock board on here, and if I was to stop right here, I'd be happy at this point because I got a ton of pieces right now. And if I was just going to play a game like Space Hulk or something like that, I mean, I have enough pieces to do that as it is. So, but we're gonna go a little bigger. We figure we bought all that dental plaster. We're gonna run it through and do it. All right, and then we have this is our 4-way intersection. So it's got the grate and the X in the middle. And when you see this stuff in real life, I mean, it's just incredible, the detail coming out of an industrial edge mold. I don't know when that mold came out, but I know it's, a few years back, but man, this is a fantastic job. You got all the cabling going down the edges and stuff like that. So there's tons of detail that you can paint in here, like a speaker that's there, all these comm boxes, you can paint the colors and all that stuff. So we're gonna really detail this out. We got 8 of these end caps, and they just sit right on the end of a hallway, or I was gonna put it right there. So, and then there's just a 2x1 after that. So like I said, there's about 62 pieces here, not counting the doors. So it's been quite a bit of work. We use the foam core board. I'm using a black foam core board, and after cutting all these pieces, you really want a knife. Oh, let me take the safety off. Like this. So one that you can extend the blade on. This makes life. I cannot imagine doing this with a little X-Acto, because when you get in there, what's nice with this is that when you extend it out, when you're right here on the edge cutting that foam core, if you just put a little bit of an angle when you're pulling across on it, what it does is it will just put a slight bevel on your piece. So when it comes time to mate them up, you got a flush fit. You've got a good, you're hearing plaster to plaster tap right there. So you're not, and a large knife like this gives you that type of control when you're cutting that stuff out. So I was talking, you can get one of these at Lowe's. You can go down to Lowe's or any of your big depot stores or something like that and get one. But Last night I was talking to my friend on the phone. We were on the phone for about an hour, and I cut out 35 pieces without a problem at all. You know, so it's once you'll know when you get that, when you start feeling the correct angle on there. Like the first foam core board I cut up, it was, you know, I was a little bit shaky with the knife on moving some of the stuff around. But right now, I just pop that knife out like that, zip, and just work my way right through. And what's nice with this is when this starts to get a little bit dull, just break off that edge and you got a brand new, you know, sharp point on there. So if you do a project like this, buy one of these because you'll be able to use it for all your projects from then on out. It is going to be a little rough on your cutting mat though. A blade, you know, a heavy blade like this, and you're doing so much cutting, but you know, depending on what you're cutting on, I use a one of these big green hobby mats that you can get, you know, from Hobby Lobby or anywhere like that. So they're not, or Hobby Town, they're not too expensive. And you know, so I'm primarily cutting in the same spot. But when I go to paint and do some other hobby stuff, I'm gonna have to rotate the mat around because I've really chewed up that one spot. So other than that, we're making good progress. You know, I figure we're gonna have at least another week of casting and building on there, maybe another 2 weeks. I may try and start base coating some of this paint, but when you're trying to cast, you're trying to build and trying to paint at the same time, that can get a little frustrating. You know, that's when you run out of room. The only other tip I can give you is if you're doing this late at night, I'll show you this piece right here. This is just a 2x1. I had 8 of these. When you're sitting there with this wall of gray in front of you, and it's late at night and you've been doing a whole bunch of different stuff, remember to make sure which way these wires are supposed to face. Because this is all one piece. This is just a 3-inch piece on each side. This is the number 1 and number 2 piece. So, you know, it was late, and I was sitting there, I can just knock these out real quick. And I ended up putting them all backwards. Fortunately, I caught it at number 7 of 8, and my tacky glue hadn't set up that hard yet. And I was able to pop them off, run another bead of glue, and flip them around. But if I would have let that harden overnight, to fix that type of mistake, I would have had to recast that mold 8 times to get those pieces back, because they would have been all messed up with that foam core stuck to it at that point. I could have probably sanded it off and stuff, but so just remember, always be aware of what's supposed to be facing in and what pieces are facing out. On the larger pieces, it's easier because I dry fit everything before I put the glue down. So this piece sits there just like this, and then I grab like a section and slide it back, and then I run the glue on the foam core board and then slide it back up and stick it to it. So, but when you're doing your smaller pieces, it's really easy to get those flipped around. This right here, this is another piece that's easy to get flipped around on there because you're more looking at the dome than you are at the wires. So that's just a little helpful tip on there. And other than that, we're using Merlin's Magic. We're still using the Elmore debubblizer on there. It's working great. You know, to be honest with you, I hardly use my vibration table anymore. I'm using pretty much straight Elmore and pouring on the cafeteria tray. So the stuff's working really good. You know, and all right. Well, I appreciate your time. And if you haven't subscribed, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. And I appreciate everybody that has. And keep on watching. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.